So we talked about an update to Blackout in yesterday's video, in which we detailed a lot of things that were changed already and some things to look out for potentially being changed in the upcoming days to maybe the rest of the week, and some ideas that we threw out there ourselves as to what we'd like to see change within Blackout as well. But the one thing that was also, of course, completely obvious is that Treyarch is going to be updating the game as we go along throughout the entire week. So, of course, we had naturally another update today. We're more than likely getting another one tomorrow, in which some of these will take place and take effect. And then also throughout the week, we can expect another update to just keep those content flows and adjustments coming throughout the entire beta. And hopefully this is an indication as to the year ahead, if we can end up getting this sort of constant update and feedback from Treyarch and the transparency here between community and developer, that would be absolutely next level. I think that was something that this past year, Sledgehammer didn't get as much credit as I think they deserved with that, and being transparent and updating on a regular basis. But if we can get that down to every couple of days we have an update and the discussion between community and Treyarch, that would be absolutely fantastic. But regardless, we ended up seeing again another update here today that added in a cool couple of new features and updated us on the plans for some weapon tuning, some armor tuning, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about that here today, break it down, and maybe we'll be back on schedule with some regular content, not just updates starting tomorrow, but we'll see where the landscape brings us in the coming 24 to 48 hours. But that said, talking about the updates at hand, Treyarch mentioned and detailed a brand new game mode within Blackout. So to me, this is absolutely awesome. We'll talk about why in just a second, but this brand new game mode is called Fast Collapse. So it is exactly what it sounds like, a fast collapse of the zone closing in on you. This is something that you usually had a little bit of time, but this goes at almost a double pace, so it closes in a lot quicker than what you'd normally encounter in the regular solos, duos, and quads. Now, the extra cool part about this is that they said that this is just one of 3 special events that they have in store for us. So it's Wednesday, and we already have 1 of 3. So there's 2 things left, and we still have today plus 4 more days of the beta before it goes away on Monday morning. So I'm curious to see what sort of other events we have in store here and what that will entail, if it's going to be something like a 40v40 mode or something like that, or some cool little other variation of Blackout and the Battle Royale mode. But that said, that also then brings into consideration that this is something that is brand new. A limited time mode is what we're seeing here. So we may end up seeing these sort of things continue throughout the year once Black Ops 4 and Blackout officially launch, to which we can end up seeing these modes cycle in and out and will have constant support. So that was one thing that I was very curious on, if that would happen throughout the life cycle of the game, is if we'd get limited time modes or if it would just be constant updates in terms of weapons or adjustments and tunings and new points of interest in the map. But now seeing that so early on we're getting different subtle variations of this game mode, it'll be cool to see that continuously happen throughout the year, as I'm anticipating now. But after that, we got into a little bit of talk about the weapon tuning and the armor as well, and some other items that were actually adjusted and some things that will be adjusted. So firstly, let's talk about the armor, because this is a big point of contention for a lot of the community. I know that I myself, even we talked about it yesterday, have had some troubles with level 3 armor, and it's something that right now the general consensus is that the level 3 armor is rather OP. You can end up blocking a lot of shots here with this, and if you end up going into it with a final fight, well, chances are you're going to be on the short end of that stick. So level 2 and level 3 armor was detailed, and they said, as with the MP beta, we're taking a cautious approach to changes to armor during the Blackout beta, as we keep an eye on overall gameplay balance. As part of the second update that recently went live yesterday, we fixed a bug where all explosive damage was not impacting level 3 armor. We're currently evaluating and testing where and how often level 3 armor makes its appearance, as well as reducing its absorption properties, which will transfer more damage and break easier. In doing so, we are also evaluating level 2 armor to adjust appropriately. So that said, they're taking a look at currently the adjustments that will be happening. We already know that we're going to have a slight armor tuning coming tomorrow that was detailed by Treyarch earlier in the week, but that was also something that level 3 armor at the time of yesterday wasn't taking any damage from explosives, so it seemed even more powerful than that of what it already is. So with that being adjusted now and having a fix for that, you might be able to see some sort of control in your gunfights a little bit further to be able to take down level 3 players, but they're also still evaluating how much further they can bring it down, and as such, if they can bring level 2 up as well to kind of make those step ladders a little more even with the progression from 1, 2, and 3 tiers of armor. So while right now it is something that seems almost in limbo, we are going to have some answers here to this, as we'll have time also to play around with the changes that end up getting implemented. So that said, we're going to be keeping an eye out here for tomorrow especially, but Treyarch do have plans in the pipeline to adjust these. So the community's outcries for a little bit of an update here for this definitely are not going unnoticed. But as for weapons, that's another thing that was up on the chopping block. They ended up saying that they slowed down the rate of fire at which you could aim down sights for the Koshka sniper rifle. They also ended up saying they're going to take a look at the popularity and performance of other weapons, and right now the one in their crosshairs is the Vapor or the VAPR, and that's simply because of how it is with the suppressor. It's obviously popular because it doesn't give away your location as much with the muzzle flash and also with the dampened audio from the shells actually firing, but that is something that the Vapor still is very powerful. So that combination makes it obviously a fan favorite, and they're evaluating if that needs a change or not, because right now it's incredibly popular, but it hasn't necessarily proven overpowered. So they're trying to find if that is going to end up being a more powerful weapon that may need scaled back a little bit, and again, that'll probably be coming in terms of an update in the next upcoming day or two. Additional weapon changes made today deal a little bit with the Koshka, the Titan, and the Paladin. Now the Titan, they fixed the reticle on the gold Titan variants of this that you can pick up in the world or out of drops that'll give you a fully kitted out Titan. There was an issue with that reticle equipped automatically with that. Then as for the Koshka and the Paladin, they actually did a little less damage to headshots. Headshots for both of these will no longer grant one-shots to players that are 200 HP, whereas previously it would do enough damage that even if the player did have that trauma kit equipped in which it gave them that extra 50 HP, a headshot would still down them or eliminate them, assuming they didn't have any armor. That's now since been changed, and I don't know how I feel about this just yet. I feel like my preference for this will definitely change out whenever I go in and play with this a little bit more here as the day progresses, and also I think it will vary depending on the situation that I'm in. If I end up getting a headshot on somebody point blank and it doesn't kill them, that's okay, because I can either switch to another weapon or something like that, even though realistically that makes no sense. But if I'm at, say, long range, and I'm talking long range, because I feel like I've been hitting some nice long distance snipes, if I headshot somebody from a distance and they have enough time to get up and move around, that's gonna be really hard to compensate for somebody on the move when they're 250, 300 kilometers away. So in that sense, overall, I just don't think that I agree with that change to make everything not one shot in terms of a headshot with those snipers, but I guess we'll see how it is, and maybe it does get adjusted later on down the line. It could be reverted back. We have seen that happen before, but right now, those were the weapon changes. Now, as for things in the pipeline that were detailed, one deals with zombies, in which they detailed that zombies can attack you from a range that they didn't actually intend to be. And if you end up going to any of the locations that house some zombies, you may very well have noticed this yourself, where you think you're out of arm's reach or out of reach of that slap, and they'll still end up doing some damage to you. And they can actually do a decent bit if you stick around, but that's something that they, of course, had a little bit more reach than was actually intended. So that's gonna be something that is adjusted and maybe compensated for once we end up seeing an update come out tomorrow, which is again the next scheduled one, and then maybe further on into the weekend. Another thing that's also on the radar is item distribution, because in a BR game, obviously RNG is king. That's something that you're never going to be guaranteed something, and the items that spawn in are going to be random. So whether you find a ton of healing and no weapons, or a fully kitted out weapon and your opponent only has a pistol, it really only comes down to luck. So they're gonna be adjusting and taking a look at the item distribution, seeing what changes can be made, what things maybe need increased spawns, decreased spawns, whatever it may be, and that'll be something we see as the week progresses as well, some changes to that system overall. Other things include items and inventory management. We recently saw an adjustment here which allowed us to pick up items quicker, and then the quick inventory closed after 5 seconds. We saw that adjustment made already, but they're looking at other quality of life things to improve this, including how you can end up manage attachments on weapons more efficiently, and how you can interact with stashes, say dead bodies, or just other loot bags in a sense. But those are some things that they're looking to test out, but might not actually make it into the beta. So while it might not be exactly what everybody wants to hear, I at least appreciate the transparency here with this, that it might only be ready for launch, not necessarily the actual beta as well. Then after that, they talked a little bit about kill credits, which some kills were not accurately crediting to the players that end up killing. Sometimes I think that I saw that they went to people that end up finishing players instead of actually downing them, and a few other scenarios as well, but they're going to iron that out and hopefully get that all fixed out as the weekend approaches. Additionally, ladders are a thing on the chopping block, which if you take a look at the map from top down, the enormity of everything, I don't know if I would necessarily immediately think about ladders, but it's proved to be a problem. People can't back down ladders, and so they're going to be adjusting ways they can do this and maybe implementing a remedy here for this. But again, that's another one that might not necessarily be ready for the beta, but instead in time for launch. And the final thing they detailed was simply reporting bad behavior, whether it be griefing, whether it be toxic and offensive language, whether it be cheating in general, whatever the case may be, there is a report button to which that helps them accurately gauge feedback on what they need to do for either anti-cheat things or ways to end up countering things like griefing players that may be just trolling their squad if they end up filling as a solo in a quads game. So there's a lot of things that are going to, of course, be up on the table here at this one, and things we can continue to look out for as the week progresses, but I'm super happy with how Treyarch has been handling everything thus far. Daily updates, daily blog and Reddit posts talking about the game and the adjustments they plan on making, plus that have already made. So that transparency is, of course, golden to me. I absolutely love that so much. So, of course, that is, we're going to wrap it up here, I think, because that is the update that we got here for this and what Treyarch ended up detailing for us as what has already come today and what is coming up in the very near future as per the next couple of days. So that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you guys enjoyed. Make sure you drop a like down below, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Blackout, Black Ops 4, Call of Duty World War II, while there still is a little bit of time left here. That, and of course, if you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected with me outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. Also, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram, get a little more active over there, so that link is as well in the description for you guys to check out. But that said, I'll see you guys out there in the battlefield. Can't wait to jump into more Blackout and see what the week still holds. But until then, thanks for watching, take care, and peace.